Hey everyone, it's Brennan. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. Today we are going to do a book haul. It has been since May of this year that I filmed a book haul, so about 6 months of book purchasing I have to share with you. Honestly, it's not as much as I thought it was going to be. That being said, I still think we have about 50 books here. So, a little disclaimer, I'm not going to go into details on any of these books. I'm just going to try to give you a brief summary of what I think they are about. Some of these, I don't really have a clue what they're about, and that's okay. For the most part, I have these arranged into genres. Basically, my genres are different subcategories of romance and some fantasy. I think that's it. Is that it? Maybe I have a couple thrillers, but the ones I'm the most excited about I got at Half Price Books last week, and I've kept them in their bag because I've been wanting to save it. I filmed a little quick TikTok. Anyway, I wanted to save it for this, so I've been dying to get those out of the bag, and they're the ones I'm most excited about. So let's go ahead and get started with those. I found this pristine, beautiful copy of The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is going to be super popular because now there's a movie coming out. And I was talking with one of my book universe friends, Angelia, recently, it was today, because she shared the movie cover of The Hating Game. I'm gonna pop it up here. It is so intense. I just do not like screen adaptations on book covers. Why mess with the cartoon romance cover? And I think this cover may be kind of difficult to find right now. I'm not sure. I'm gonna pop up different covers of The Hating Game. This is so popular. This is a hate to love workplace romance. And then the next random book I got at half price was Odd Thomas by Dean Koontz. This is super shiny, so I apologize if this is not coming across very nicely on the screen. This is one of the only books that I have read more than once in my life. It's the first book in a series, but truly this could be read as a standalone. This is dad suspense, horror, thriller, paranormal. This has a lot going on, and this is amazing. It follows a guy who can see ghosts, and then it gets very actiony and suspenseful from there. Okay, and now I am just really getting into historicals. Not only do I love their content and their plots, I love their covers. A mass market historical romance cover, there's just something about it. So I have about 9 or 10 that I picked up at Half Price Books, and I'm just so excited about these. A more modern one, I picked up a Tessa Dare book, Do You Want to Start a Scandal? It's probably in one of her series. She has quite a few series, and I've only read one of her series so far. I've read 3 of her books, and I have them here. But these sell for like $9 right now, so the $3.99 a steal. And the rest of them that I have are pretty retro. I would say most of the ones I have here are from the 80s and 90s, maybe early 2000s, probably mainly the 90s. I got a lot of Julie Garwood. This one is Guardian Angel. Look at that beautiful cover. I'm just gonna go through these because I do not know what a lot of these are about. I have Julie Garwood for the roses. That glare, save it from the glare. So pretty. Julie Garwood, The Wedding, and embarrassing, but I also have an eBay order with like another 8 or 9 historicals, and I have The Bride, so I think The Bride comes before The Wedding, but this one was a half price, and look how pretty that is. Another Julie Garwood, Come the Spring. These fonts, can we talk about these fonts? I just look at this and I get so happy. And the last Julie Garwood I picked up at half price is Rebellious Desire. Just look, absorb, enjoy. And then I have a couple with really pretty step backs. That's another thing. I want to participate in Step Back Saturdays on Instagram. So I was picking up some books with beautiful step backs. And this one is by Eloisa James. It's Say Yes to the Duke, I think is what it's called. So here's the cover, and then here is the beautiful step back. I have another Eloisa James in here that I'm really excited to show you also. And then this one is by Jill Gregory. I do not know that author. Just This Once is the book. And then here is our beautiful step back. It gave me like very much Halloween, like autumn vibes, and I was here for it. And then this one is probably my favorite one with the step back that I bought. This one is by Heather Graham. I don't really think I have heard of her. It's called Rebel, and it has the beautiful hummingbird on the cover. And then look at that full on step back. And like, I just think this is so interesting because she has like pants on. That is going to sound really gender role of me, but you just don't see that a lot. So I'm super excited about this. This is actually a Civil War historical, and I have not read one of those before. Okay, now let's get into the historicals that I have acquired over the last 6 months. This is another one that I bought because of the step back, and I didn't know it had this big chunk taken out of it. I got it on eBay, but I saw someone post this step back, and it is just so beautiful. Look at the flowers along the bottom there. This is Happily Ever After by Mary Lyle Rogers. Don't know anything about it, but also there's a unicorn on the cover. Like, this book just had a lot going for it. And then I have The Hunter by Kerrigan Byrne. This is the second book in her Victorian Rebel series. The first book was The Highwayman. I feel like this is a really iconic cover. I just see it a lot in the book universe. But this is the second book in the series, and those leaves need a second. This is the second book in the series, and we are following an assassin, and he gets hired to assassinate this woman, but they end up falling in love. Super exciting. This is another Eloisa James. This is My American Duchess. So I think she's an American and she is in England. She's been engaged a lot, I believe, and she gets engaged to this duke's brother, but then she falls in love with the duke. And of course, this has a beautiful step back here. I love that blue, her dress, and then the cover here, and then the back here. Beautiful. And then I have another beautiful blue book. I don't know why, that's just been my vibe lately. I don't know. This is Not the Kind of Earl You Marry by Kate Pembroke. I want to say this might be indie historical. I might be lying, but it's also like not quite mass market, so I think that means it's indie. I'm not sure. And then I have a couple Kate Bateman books. This is To Catch an Earl. So pretty. And then I have this beautiful cover, A Reckless Match by Kate Bateman. I just love like the flowers here and the color of her dress. I guess I've just really been into romance book covers lately. I'm not sure. If it was art, I would put it on my wall. And then I picked up Tess Adair's Girl Meets Duke series. I love this series, and actually I was thinking last night, I think I'm gonna go back and give them all 5 stars. I gave the last book 5 stars, but truly, these are just such great historicals, but they definitely have a modern spin on them. And like, all the women in these books have super interesting hobbies and just interests, and a couple of them work jobs, which is totally not typical for historicals. But this is The Duchess Deal. This is A Marriage of Convenience. So good. She's a seamstress, and she made the Duke's fiance's wedding gown, and then his fiance ended their engagement, and she shows up in the wedding dress demanding payment for it, and it is just so excellent. And then this one is The Governess Game. This girl who has no background being a governess finds herself in that role with, is he a duke? I'm not sure what his title is. I think he is about to become a duke or something. And there are 2 little girls, 2 young girls, like probably 7 and 9, around those ages. And they are so funny and morbid. Like, one of them is obsessed with like plagues and disease. It's so fun. And then the third book in that series is The Wallflower Wager. And Penny's book has this beautiful step back also. But Penelope is a lady in society. I don't really know what her like actual standing is, but she's a spinster and she likes to save animals. So her house is basically like an animal shelter, and her neighbor is New Money, which is looked down upon. He isn't from like a genetic bloodline of wealth and standing. So they strike up a relationship that helps them out. Just so good. Now I'm kind of sad that that's all the historicals, but I have that eBay order coming, and obviously you all will see that. But if you know, you know. I read Penny Reid's Winston Brothers series over the summer and this fall, so I picked up her spin-off series. This is Cletus's spin-off series. The first one is Engagement and Espionage, and the second one is Marriage and Murder. And then she has another one coming out, I think early next year. I haven't read these yet, but Cletus and Jen are just, they're like my family now. I love them so much. They were incredible characters in her first series, and I'm so excited to continue with their stories. Now I have a couple super popular romances. I have The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I read this and really enjoyed it. It is very Halloween-y. We are following two witches and their second chance romance. A great, very ambient, very autumnal time. And then I have The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. This deserves all the hype that it is getting in the book universe. This is a fake dating romance. Fake dating is just really not my favorite trope, but I ate this up. This was so fun. It is set on the campus at Stanford. We're following a PhD student and a professor. It's not super taboo. Like, I don't know if that sounds taboo to you. It's not. This is a great time. What I really, really love is that towards the end of this book, we get big touch her and I'll kill you vibes from Dr. Carlson. I loved this so much. Following up that hyped romance, I Have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I love this. Tessa Bailey I love her writing. It's so funny, but also really smart and also super steamy. Like, their dirty talk is like on another level. And just the families that she creates within these communities. So this book, her Hot and Hammered series, and a lot of her other books, you just feel really grounded in like their little community. I just love that. I eat her books up. They are so good. Speaking of incredible authors, I have quite a few Colleen Hoover books to haul. I have November 9. Haven't read this. I don't want to know a lot about this, but I know it's super popular. I have Maybe Someday, which actually kind of scares me because I think there might be some cheating in here. I'm not sure. I'm scared, but I know there's other books within this. I don't know if it's a series or just like kind of companion novels, but I just need to read every Colleen Hoover book ever. I have Slammed, which I think might be one of her earlier novels, and I think this is like a poetry competition. This is not poetry. Oh my gosh, this picture of her on the back, this is definitely one of her earlier novels. That is not how I picture Colleen now. She's just very blonde now. Oh, the font in here is really big. I bet I could read this really fast. And then I have Without Merit. I don't know anything about this book except that Colleen Hoover wrote it, and it's probably really good. I have The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. I haven't read The Bride Test. I know I don't have to read The Bride Test first, but I want to just for chronological sake. But I hear this is really heavy for a contemporary romance, and I'm really excited to read it. And then I have If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. This was a really fun read as I read it, but now that I'm thinking back on it, it was a little bit underwhelming. Like, I just don't remember like absolutely loving that much about it. I just read it and it was a good time. It's a Bachelor inspired romance and it was fun, and that's about all I can say. For someone who has a booktube channel, I'm not very good at talking about books. And then, not really romance. Actually, are Sally Rooney's books considered romance? I think they might be, and I would just not. I would not consider them that. Are there romances in these? Yes, but I would more so call these, I guess, just contemporary and like dark. Dark, mental health, contemporary. I'm not sure, but look at all these pretty books. I have Conversations with Friends, Normal People, and her newest release, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I haven't read this yet. Really want to. The covers are beautiful. I gave Normal People and Conversations with Friends 5 stars. I loved these, but I guess I'll call them weird. I don't really want to call them weird. They're just very thoughtful and thought-provoking, and you are just in these characters' heads and watching their actions, and you're like, why are you doing those things? And then you're in their head and you're like, oh, okay, like I kind of get it. I don't know, these are just really enjoyable reads to me. And an author who I think is similar to Sally Rooney is Melissa Broder. Again, just really interesting, thoughtful character studies. These books are like character studies, and this is another cover that I just love. And then I picked up a copy of Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This might be my favorite book that I read this year, and it would just be a shame if I didn't own it physically. This is suspenseful and action-y, and it is just a great time between two dads whose sons were married to each other, and then they got murdered, and their dads are just out for revenge. And it's amazing. And then, full disclosure, I picked this book up because it has my name in it. It's spelled with an E, but this is my name. This is We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lange. I don't know anything about this book, but I really like the cover. A theme here. I buy books if I like the cover. But I'm super intrigued. This also seems pretty short. Super intrigued to see what this is about. And it has my name in it. Now, I think I have a few YA books. I'm not sure on some of them. Some things I just don't really know, okay? This cute little book is Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. I know Jess from Books Past Bedtime likes this author, and I think this might be short stories. I'm not sure, but I think I actually pre-ordered this and now I have it. And then this beautiful cover is Ghostwood Song by Erica Waters. One, I'm pretty sure this is like an Appalachian type thing, so that's why I wanted to pick it up. I also think it's a little LGBTQ plus, and I don't know, I'm just really excited to pick this up. And I think it's ghosty also. Just a lot going on, and a lot I'm excited about. This book, I don't really know if it's YA or not. This is We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Berry. I think I'm kind of having trouble reading the font. This is witchy, and I don't know a lot else about it, except the cover's pretty. And then this book is for sure YA. I have read this. This is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. Kirsten from Kirsten's Corner made me read this, and I love this book so much. It's a YA romance, and it's just a really fun time, and there's a lot of baking in here. And let me take this dust jacket off because there's a grilled cheese on the hardcover. I think that's the main reason I bought this book. Can we just... There's a grilled cheese war in this book, and wow, it's great. And then I have The How and the Why by Cynthia Hand. This follows, I think, a girl who was adopted, and then she finds some letters from her biological mom and what she went through when she was pregnant with her at a really young age. And I've just heard this is really good. And this is kind of a thick book. I think it's YA. I'm not completely sure. But I read The Afterlife of Holly Chase, I guess it's been a couple years ago now, and just really, really enjoyed Cynthia Hand's writing. So I'm excited to pick up more from her. And speaking of Cynthia Hand, this is My Contrary Mary by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. So they have their Jane series. I have it up here and I haven't read it. But now they have a Mary series, and this is the first one in it. And this is like a comical retelling, reimagining of Mary, Queen of Scots. That premise just really speaks to me, and I really just need to like take a week where I read all of these historical comical retellings. Okay, now I've got some fantasy. I think this is fantasy. That's another thing about me. I just kind of don't know a lot about the books that I buy. This is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I totally 100% bought this because it's another book with a beautiful hardcover. Look at that. It's just so amazing. The nature, the natural elements in this. I don't know what the book is about, but I know what I'm about, and I'm about beautiful hardcover books. And then, because everyone was talking about them, I got Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed. I think that's the order they go in. These are fantasy, and I think there's a little bit of like a slow burn romance in these. And I think, are we in hell? Are we like, I don't really know. Oh, also these are James Patterson Presents. And then I have Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. This is fantasy romance. This is also indie published. And I picked this up because it was Sahara's Fanro Book Club pick for last month, and I didn't read it. I'm so sorry. But I have it, and this is another cover that I just love. The nature, the colors of this, the greens, the browns. I love this. It's just so beautiful. That was the last fiction-y book I have. I'm going to show you that I picked up The Intelligent Investor. This is by Benjamin Graham. This is a thick book, but I want to be smarter with my money. Like, I'm getting older and I just want to be smarter with my money, so I have this book on investing. And then I just thought it would be fun to show you some of the cookbooks that I've picked up. I like cooking. I need to do more of it. I keep telling myself when I graduate school, I'm going to do all these things. Well, I have some cookbooks, but also I just like looking through cookbooks. It's just very appealing to me. This one is Smoke Roots Mountain Harvest. It's by Lauren Angelucci McDuffie. I think it's a little Appalachian, and I love cookbooks. They are just so appealing, especially these nice hardcover cookbooks. I love them. I need to like actually make a devoted place on my shelf for them. And then I picked up Alex Guarnaschelli's The Home Cook. She is so enjoyable to follow on Instagram. She's just so funny. And oh my gosh, the pictures in here are just something else. I mean, she is like food universe queen. And I think she kind of blurbs this as recipes you should know by heart. And it's just a cookbook and it's really nice. And then a little more bookish, I picked up the Outlander Kitchen, the official Outlander Companion Cookbook. This is by Diana Gabaldon. This is by Teresa Carl Sanders. Forward by Diana Gabaldon. I really need to continue with Outlander. I've read the first 3 books. They are just an investment. Even the audiobooks are like 50 hours. Like, they are an investment, but probably worth it. So this has like, I guess, period foods. And I wonder what places they're going to be from, because we really go kind of a lot of places in Outlander. So this is just super exciting to have. Oh, and it has the dust jacket, but the hardcover is the same as the dust jacket. So appreciate that. And lastly, I have Tegan Gerard's Half-Baked Harvest and Half-Baked Harvest Super Simple. Both of her cookbooks. Also, she just posted that she has another cookbook coming out. But she's so super popular, and I have both these cookbooks. I hear especially good things about the Super Simple one, and I'm excited to flip through these. Maybe cook a few things. Maybe. But wow, those were all the books I have accumulated over the last 6 months. How exciting. But now we're going into the holiday season. I've already made an eBay order, and who knows what we'll have by the end of the year. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know if any of them catch your eye. Let me know if you like historical mass market paperbacks or if you hate them, because I feel like it's an either or type of thing. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.